Greetings and salutations, friends. I am Numithrender, and we pick up in the Liyue Archon quest, checking out this location marked in the paper snow of Ningguang. And we have a Fatui here.
Scatter!
Out of the frying pan! I'll protect
Let's
you.
hope we don't kill him, as I would like to ask him a few questions.
My duty.
Couldn't help but notice you didn't drop anything. Oh well. Let's see, looks like there's a fast travel point. Oop. Okay. Let's get up to see. Looks like it's on that mountain right there. So, we'll grab that right quick. And then we'll see about these Fatui. There it is. Didn't quite plan on landing on it, but it doesn't matter too much.
There's no end to
Can't
this.
see?
Propagate!
Nice and spicy. Let's dance.
I think we can forego the lost and found report.
Nope, looks like we have some more Fatui. So let's see how well we can...
Really were Fatui at the location written down on this piece of paper. And they look really mad at us too.
Flash frost.
I'll uproot you!
Oh, and there's a sniper.
Keep up. One with the forest.
Propagate!
Nice and spicy.
Gotta stop him before he puts up his Geo shield.
Can't see?
And too late.
Scatter!
Oh, too low.
Out of the frying pan.
And shroud! Sir,
Ooh, that pyro shot could be real dangerous.
You need to hurry up.
Dendro units are rather weak to pyro more often than not.
one with the forest. I hear everything.
And pyro is rather resilient to Dendro too. Oh, I have a box with a whole bunch of seals on it. Are these all sigils of permission?
There are so many talismans here. And some stacks of blank paper too. What are they for?
It looks like they're copying the pattern on the talismans. Though I'm not certain whether or not they're able to reproduce the magic in them. The appearance would be enough for most normal people of Liyue. And that is dangerous enough by itself. Leave alone if they actually manage to duplicate the effect. Something that would fool even an Adeptus. Now that would be a true nightmare for Liyue. Because then, the sigils of permission, the ultimate symbols of Rex Lapis's endorsement, would be worthless. They would be viewed as counterfeit and always suspect. They would have to devise some new way to guarantee loyalty. Otherwise, Anybody presenting a sigil could be an enemy.
Paimon's seen this pattern before, but where? Oh, Paimon knows! It looks just like the sigil of permission the child gave you.
Which, unfortunately, now forces me to ask the question. Was the sigil of permission that Tartaglia gave me an original? Or was it a counterfeit? Because if it was a counterfeit, then unfortunately, we have proven that they can duplicate them effectively. Ah, dear, dear.
But how did a relic of the Adepti end up in the hands of someone like Child? Suspicious.
Unfortunately, it's not just a relic.
Oh, that's right. Cloud Retainer said that when the Lord of Geo created the Sigil of Permission, it wasn't to be used as some old relic. Talismans like that were once used in the Archon War to channel divine powers. Maybe the Fatui are copying the Sigil of Permission in hopes of achieving a similar effect. Being able to channel divine power in battle? Whew, that sounds pretty dangerous.
Perhaps this paper is only a snippet of a much bigger plan. And if these sigils are as powerful as they seem, that is very ill news. I will have to inform the Tianquan at once.
And the plot thickens. We'll need to keep an eye on Child, that's for sure.
Yes.
Alright, that's enough sticking around here. We gotta go meet up with Zhongli soon. The last stop on our rite of parting preparations tour is Dihua Marsh. Let's go! Paimon hates being late.
I see. I don't know, personally, I would think it a wiser move at this exact moment to go back to the Jade Chamber post-haste and warn Ningguang about the fact that they're duplicating sigils of permission, which can be used as powerful weapons. It would seem that if I informed Ningguang of something that dire, well, I'd have earned her trust to begin with. And for two, she might be obliged then to offer some assistance in seeking Lumine. Oh. Yeah, looks like I have another ruin guard to deal with.
Can't.
Nice and spicy. Let's dance.
Why are you still swinging? You were dead, but you didn't realize it, I guess.
Smells like something good is inside.
Oh. I almost flew right past it.
Keep up.
Oh, Abyss Mage. I'll deal with it now, why not?
I'll protect us.
Propagate!
One with the forest. Let's nip that in the bud.
Scatter!
Didn't know where you were going to drop that.
Can't see?
Nope. Nope, not dealing with that right now. Need the material from those Abyss Mages. But now it's time to visit with Zhongli. Ah, there he is. It's gonna be nightfall again any second, so let's advance the time a little. Nice how I can see the water, the wall of waters that separates Fontaine from the remainder of the sea. Okay. Incidentally, I actually find Ganyu, her charge shot, to be a bit more satisfying than Tainari's. It's a pity. Ganyu is not a permanent banner 5-star, so I have no way of getting her. But oh well.
Right on time. I myself only arrived moments ago. Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade Chamber?
It was so big and pretty and expensive. Paimon's never seen such a fancy schmancy place before.
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did you talk about with her?
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon thinks she's very friendly.
Business people are always friendly when it suits their interests, Paimon. You would do well to remember that.
Yeah, his take on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's. He thinks that even the tactless Yuheng is more trustworthy than her.
Oh, so you also met with Keqing then? What did she have to say?
She said the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue?
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart, though they are both members of the Qixing. Although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true intentions.
I will say that Ningguang is very much intelligent. And she's risen quite far with her ambition. And will rise higher still, I don't doubt.
Yes, she has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. No ordinary person could ever achieve that. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her. Even if she ever gave up the position of Tianquan, she would never give up the Jade Chamber.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's the most important thing to her then?
Why, Mora, of course.
No surprises there. I would have been more surprised if you had said love. Ay.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She said that after Rex Lapis was murdered, the Fatui have constantly been trying to sink their fingers into Liyue, and that they aren't to be trusted.
No change with them, either. They did precisely the same thing in Mondstadt.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise me in the least.
Perhaps it would interest you to learn, then, that they are endeavoring to create sigils of permission, to reproduce them and their effects.
No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the Fatui. Always be on your guard.
So, is there anything we need to get for the rite of parting in Diwa Marsh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild glaze lilies.
Glaze lilies? But why did we come all the way out here? Doesn't the garden in Eugene Terrace have some? Even Qingsa Village has glaze lilies. Oh, right! Paimon remembers that Madame Ping is always tending to flowers. Maybe we could ask her.
No. Those lilies have all been gardened by people. They won't do it all. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of joyful flower that listens to human song. Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. But the war caused landslides, and the land was flooded. turning it into the marsh you see now. Nearly all the glaze lilies were wiped out. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have been preserved and gardened by people in the city. But very few people know that glaze lilies may still be found in the wild. Wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance. If we want to follow the true tradition of the rite of parting, we must grind up the wild lilies and place the powder in a censer of everlasting incense. But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers.
So, you mean we need to pick them?
No, I need you to sing to them. Singing to the flowers will make them more fragrant.
I see.
So how good is your singing?
I guess I can hold a tune.
Really? Why doesn't Paimon believe you?
We'll only know once he starts singing.
I see. Ay, ay. Well, fortunately for all of you, there's no need for me to give my own recital for this. I simply have no practice in it, if I'm being honest.
It's time to sing, whenever you're ready.
Da 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 da.
Borrowing from Barbara, I see. And I was just thinking about her, too. She is the idol of Mondstadt. We could have brought her along, and I'm certain the flowers would have bloomed most beautifully then, awakening to her melody. But we have to make do with Aether, I guess. Oh.
What happened? These flowers are jumping. They look really angry. Is it because you sang a song for Mondstadt that they don't understand here in Liyue? Race you!
Ouchie, ouch. Okay, and the fact that they're cryo is giving me conniptions. Specific. You had to dodge the rest of that, did you?
Scatter!
Barbara Freeze. Not a good combo.
Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
Those were whopper flowers. 3 cryo whopper flowers, to be precise.
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. Strange. These petals look interesting. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long. The result seems to have surprisingly potent medicinal value. Let's collect what we can of these petals.
Well, that's nice and all, but will those petals be useful for the rite of parting?
Unfortunately, no.
That's so lame.
Excuse me,
Ganyu.
are you searching for glaze lilies?
We are indeed.
Oh, hey, it's... What's-her-face? Paimon can't remember.
Greetings, Ganyu. Secretary of the Qixing.
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised you still remember my name.
It is hard to forget a girl with blue hair and horns.
That reminds me. How was your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Well, it sure would have been better if you told us how to get up there.
Indeed.
Didn't I tell you the way? Surely I did.
I see, so Ningguang did not play a trick on us by forcing Ganyu not to tell us. It simply slipped her mind. Oh, poor Ganyu needs to sleep more. Yeah, she really does too. She's just like Jean, horrendously overworked.
Nope, we found the way on our own.
It isn't a secret, so perhaps you just assumed we knew.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. I guess I really did forget to tell them.
Well, no harm done, except to those Millilith we beat up last time. Stupid misunderstanding on Paimon's fault, and Paimon's fault more than anything else. So I wouldn't feel too badly about it, Ganyu.
Something seems a little off about Ganyu. She's acting different from the first time we met. Where's her serious attitude now?
Well, she did come to us as a special envoy of the Liyue Chising last time. It was indeed a formal occasion to her.
Oh, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan. But now, I am simply out on a stroll to see the flowers.
You came all the way out here to see the flowers? Why not just enjoy the gardens of the city?
Likely for the same reason that Zhongli asked us to find wild glaze lilies. Things not touched by human hands have a unique beauty.
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days, I draw the windows to block my view of the gardens.
Oh, sorry. We shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's quite all right. I just haven't processed my emotions yet. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, the first iteration of the Seven would gather in Liyue and drink with Rex Lapis. But 5 of those original 7 had already passed before Rex Lapis. It's truly a changing of the guard.
You speak as if you were present for these events. And my, 5 of the original 7 are all either dead or missing. And now it's 6, with Rex Lapis having departed. My, but Barbados Venti is now technically the only original member of the 7 left. At least the only one still officially a god, one of the Archons, still ruling their domain. Well, I say ruling, but, it's Venti, so take the word rule with a grain of salt.
Yes. Now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has returned to the heavens, only Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first 7. The other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago. Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro. She is merely 500 years old, whereas Rex Lapis was more than 6,000 years old at the time of his passing. This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded 3,700 years ago. The city has never had to bid farewell to its deity.
So what do you think of this farewell?
Huh? This is a little sudden. As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grips with reality. Since Rex Lapis has passed, the time of Liyue's contract with the gods and Adepti has now reached its end.
Huh? Did you just say, as an Adeptus?
Yes, I am a mix of human and Qilin. Adeptus blood flows through my veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Chising. I've continued those duties to this very day.
So you're half Qilin. That explains the horns. That said, I don't believe I've ever actually met one of the Qilin. Interesting that the Adepti and humans can mingle and produce such creatures as you, Ganyu. An interesting point of cosmology, or theology, depending on how you wish to turn the phrase.
Well, let's save that conversation for another day. You say that you are here looking for glaze lilies?
Indeed.
I also know where wild glaze lilies can be found. See, I've just picked one myself. Here, you may have it if you wish.
We dare not refuse it.
Oh, so did you sing a song before you picked the lily?
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well. In fact, I sang a local Liyue ballad to it.
Wow, so you really know your stuff, too. Thanks, Gunyu.
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance meeting, I never thought that I would be able to contribute to the upcoming farewell for our ancient lord. If you would excuse me, I should return to my work now. Good luck.
And that just about does it. Our preparations for the rite of parting are mostly finished. Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our tasks, in more ways than one.
Zhongli, you seem suited to working in agricultural development. Or just cultural development in its entirety, if I'm being honest, as you seem to know everything there is to know about Liyue and its countryside.
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him starting a business in Liyue.
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult at first, and requires no small amount of effort. And once business is at full steam, the stress of it all only wears away at you over time. So you must be careful to take the time to step back and re-examine yourself. If left unchecked, the wear and tear on your heart may go well past mending.
Wow. See? Zhongli sounds like he's already seen it all. Alright, I think it's about time we head back to Liyue Harbor now.
Very well. And of course, you see what I mean about time moving too swiftly. It's the middle of the night. Even though we started this little trip right after morning. Ay ay. Lilies love music. Well then, back to Liyue Harbor. Though it looks like they want me to stop right at the front gate to the harbor. Very well. It is certainly a swift enough trip to make. Oh, there's Fatui everywhere.
What happened? The city gate is swarming with Millilith and... the Fatui?
This atmosphere is highly abnormal. It seems as though something big has happened. We should ask around a little, just to be safe.
Hail, Felix.
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhongli, I presume. The Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times. We mustn't act rashly.
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like they're attempting to stall the Adepti outside the city. However, both sides were quite obstinate and hit an impasse.
It seems inevitable, given the current situation.
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo-Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will be in no position to stop them.
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in so easily.
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet it's because of that obstinacy that mortals and Adepti are now on the verge of conflict.
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come under fire?
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in the actions of the Fatui. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? That's the Qixing for you.
You're a fool if you don't believe they were keeping tabs on you before.
Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us. Don't let anyone catch you off guard.
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
We can't just stand by and watch. We have to put in a few words at least. Cloud Retainer was on the warpath the last time we saw her.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Or will you use your sword to turn the balance? Neither path is an easy one.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng funeral parlor has also been caught up in all of this. They're currently squaring off with the authorities at the gates.
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng funeral parlor. I hope that Master Hu has been able to keep things under control for the moment. Consider your next course of action carefully, Traveler. If you're trying to prevent an explosion, it may be wisest to look for the fuse first.
Having connections with the Fatui seems to be quite the double-edged sword. So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse?
Child.
Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, it's definitely him. He must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching to do something really bad. But where could we find him now?
In the Golden Chamber, where the Exuvia, the body of Rex Lapis, is currently being held.
Where would he go at a time like this?
There's only one place he would go. And now we have to go in haste. Yes, and we have no fast travel point to it as yet. So we'll have to make do with getting close. And now we're in for it. Matters are about to reach a boiling point indeed. And now we need to work our way around these mountains. Fortunately, there is a road leading directly to the place we wish to go. So we need not concern ourselves with scaling mountains. Not this time, anyway. There it is.
Keep up.
The Golden House. It's almost similar in design to the Jade Chamber. I do not believe for a second that's a coincidence. The Jade Chamber is Ningguang's pride and joy, after all. Oh well. We begin. The Golden Shadow. Your pursuit of the truth brings you to the very heart of the political storm that has been slowly brewing in Liyue Harbor. It is time to peer beyond the glittering gold and see what lurks in the shadows. Now we're in for it.
Wow! This is the Golden House? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? And so full of Mora. This is where all of Teyvat's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few Mora go missing.
Touch a single Mora and we're done for. Besides that, I've just noticed, in the top right-hand corner, there's a sprawled-out Millelith soldier. Someone beat us here after all.
Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky, tricky. Good thing Paimon's got you here. But even if we can't take any, we can still have a closer look, right? Or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come true.
Something feels amiss here.
Oh, right. Back to business. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone's gotta be guarding something as important as the Exuvia. Huh? Look! What happened here?
The Millelith. Apparently they've been knocked unconscious.
Uh-oh. Paimon smells trouble. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
Indeed. This is a beautiful place. I kinda wish that I could actually come and explore it. Explore it again. Without having... Well... I won't spoil it, but... just being able to wander around in here would be nice. But now it's time to check on the body of Rex Lapis.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't you already seen enough trouble for today?
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way.
Looks like I was just in time then.
Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret location, don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort?
We won't know that until we try it.
Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Chising are really pulling out all the stops this time.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
Of course.
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that which she desires.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I won't allow you to go near the Exuvia. I care not what your madam desires. The Tsaritsa has caused too much harm already.
I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me anyway. The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage to begin with. But I'm willing to do as the Tsaritsa deems fit. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you. The battle.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now, would she? When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a Harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong opponents.
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that, what else is there?
I could never defeat you. You're completely delusional, child. Your moniker is most fitting.
Fighting talk, I love it! Now let's see you live up to it.
Oh, I will.
This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint. You've made some progress. Guess I should take you more seriously. Haha, good. No wonder Signora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger.
You've got a pretty strong shield on you.
Dance.
Can't see? Barry!
Ooh, he's juggling me.
Yeah. Right. Keep up. I'll uproot you.
Oop. Timed that rather poorly.
No use hiding back there.
Who said anyone was hiding?
Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get.
Both Animo and Chio together.
Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected! Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now! I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
Tartaglia.
Not bad. But this is going to cost you! Yeah!
Imagine if Tartaglia's burst let him turn into this on command.
You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information about the Golden House to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over, now! Don't make me take it from you!
We didn't take it!
Ooh. Getting a bit low.
We can do it!
Some you win,
Ooh.
and some you lose.
Shanling for the win, I guess.
Look! Child's back to normal again!
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
I did not know where it was bestowed to begin with, so how could I possibly have beaten you to it?
That's what we've been trying to tell you! We didn't take it!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be?
It is because I am gradually restoring my former power.
You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
I see.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts.
What? So you mean that...
You believe that Rex Lapis still lives?
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this, for the weak will be swept away in the process. The truth is, the world belongs to those who pursue strength. I seldom willingly involve myself with the weak. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyon's stone forest.
A god?
Osile, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geo-Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath the waves by the Geo-Archon's stone spears ever since. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its deity, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
So then, you would commit genocide in the name of attaining the Gnosis? This is precisely why I despise, child, and all of the Fatui harbingers, and why I can never side with the Tsaritsa. This is why.
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission! Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
You've been trying to duplicate them, and alas, it seems you were successful.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the Geo-Archon spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles.
And yet you still go ahead with it, like a good little soldier. Foolish excuses.
But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more intriguing. Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on?
Osile, the Lord of the Vortex, has been reawoken. And all in the name of the Tsaritsa's dream.
Paimon's exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed Liyue yet, has it?
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite against this common enemy.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy, even from all the way out here.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary. So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is... not necessarily.
What? But all of you were supposed to be the guardians of Liyue. Can't you think of something?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own hands is here. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of war beyond your wildest thoughts.
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now.
Yep.
Fatui.
The Fatui! They're attacking the Guizhong Ballista!
They wish to guarantee.
Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me! Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you, one wishes to witness.
One with the force.
Shouldn't get careless.
Propagate!
The Fatui already dabbed. But now they stain their hands with yet more blood.
Looks like I went too far. Scatter!
Witness of death.
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
Ooh. Okay. And then it just smacks me for half my health. Wonderful.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
I guess.
I hear everything.
And Tainari's range is quite helpful for this. Oh, and I get frozen.
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
You're not going anywhere.
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
Adeptal energy! That light from your body, it's like the time at Julian Cars! Wow! It's not in shockwave! This grid is really strong!
Yes, just the boost I needed.
Can't see?
Nice and spicy!
This isn't good. I guess. Not breaking a sweat.
Oh, they're really,
Let's nip that in the bud.
really going for the kill here.
Looks like I went too far. No excuse for slacking.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganyu's like in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Ooh, and just in time, too. Osial was ready to pepper it. I don't see any more Fatui.
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
I have little choice, do I?
Let's dance!
Can't see?
There you are.
I'll uproot you!
No, you're not going.
Get them! Come on! We can do it!
And Shroud!
Time to fulfill my duty.
Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
One would hope.
I'll protect us.
Let's nip that in the bud. Can't see?
The ballistas are getting damaged. I was worried there'd be more on this side.
I'll uproot you!
Oh, this one's almost dead.
Keep up.
Let's move.
Run with the force.
The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
And just in time, too. What's Osile doing?
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
That doesn't look good. The ballistas have been shattered.
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
And Osile is bested.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
We're all on the same side here. We all serve the prosperity of Liyue.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
When there is discord between the Guardians and those they were meant to defend, harmony becomes very difficult to restore. And you have seen the potential danger of that discord.
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
This is what we learned in the City of Freedom.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last.
But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things that make the harbor so pretty. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern ride.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection, but it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
It would seem that they've listened to what the people have to say. And I suspect that it will take some time for them to fully grasp what they have heard.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh?
The Adepti were quite reasonable in the end. Perhaps Keqing's skepticism is at least somewhat misplaced.
Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one thing. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own, so Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death, too?
Yes, we do.
Hyman doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshem Funeral Parlor.
Yes, Liyue Harbor was spared, and very little blood was shed here. But that was not for the lack of malice on the part of the Fatui and their harbinger. I, for one, hold them eternally in contempt for what they attempted to do here. And I, for one, have never forgiven Child for what he's done here. Disaster was only narrowly averted. And the only saving grace came at the spilling of the blood of the Millelith, the proud soldiery of Liyue. In the name of those who died defending the city, I would name Child an enemy of Liyue. And I, for one, would see him pay for it. Fairy lady, eh?
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble. We had better go and make sure that everything is okay.
Indeed. Due to the assault of the Fatui, we can only assume that open hostilities are about to begin at Northland Bank. Even if Snezhnaya and Liyue are not immediately at war, it's only a matter of time now. And they most assuredly will not be welcome in the city any longer. So, association with them is dangerous, to put it mildly, at this hour.
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that.
Signora, why am I not surprised to find you here?
Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And you! You're also one of the Harbingers?
Signora.
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from your friend.
I still have time to take it back.
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements, and our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are here.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Awkward would imply that there were any ambiguity about my feelings toward you. And I assure you there are no ambiguities with me.
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end.
I do not associate with mass murderers.
Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Signora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on.
Signora and Zhongli?
So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
Agreement? What agreement?
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise is solid as stone.
How sanctimonious.
So Zhongli is Rex Lapis after all.
What? So you're the Lord of Chio? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
And what is her end of this bargain? God of contracts. And why did you feign your death besides?
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you, and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky, and all of Liyue goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see, am I right?
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. It is now 3,700 years ago that I founded Liyue together with the Adepti. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come. Until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You've finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue.
So then, were you satisfied with the finale?
Indeed I was. The Gnosis, which I had kept for so many years, suddenly seemed to have lost its meaning. That's right, which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
In the end, the resolution to all that has transpired was even more satisfactory than I could have hoped for. Take the Adepti, for instance. Owing to their years of seclusion, they were the least informed. Yet when faced with a crisis, they commendably showed the greatest amount of restraint possible. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even made efforts to understand the hearts of the people. Credit is also due to Signora, the emissary dispatched by the Cryo Archon to fulfill our contract. At my request, she kept everything she knew in strict confidence. This despite the eavesdropping ears of her colleague, Child. This meant I could remain as Zhongli, even having the chance to fulfill the age-old traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for joining me on this journey, Traveler. All of these things turned out as I had planned. There is only one thing that I had not anticipated, and that was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue as divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all!
Ha! On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark!
You are owed nothing. You made your choice to attempt to drown Liyue with no notion that Rex Lapis could certainly emerge to prevent it. So you are still guilty as far as I'm concerned.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo Archon, Liyue would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight?
You've really embarrassed yourself this time, child.
Hey, haven't you learned the Liyue saying, don't always call it as you see it?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
I would know what the Cryo Archon offered you. What could possibly be worth a Gnosis?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade for a Gnosis.
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, then I certainly would not be inclined to agree to it. My agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, Uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
I see. You refuse to answer. Well, well, I suppose only time will tell then.
Paimon can't absorb so much information at once. So, Zhongli, what sort of contract did you sign with the Cryo Archon? Paimon's so curious.
One of the clauses of our contract was not to divulge any of its contents.
You're so petty.
I see. Nothing for it then. I can hardly ask the god of contracts to break a contract, now can I? Particularly not when the price of that contract was nothing less than a gnosis. So we shall depart. Quite the mouthful to chew on now, isn't it? A bargain between the Tsaritsa and the Geo Archon.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Yes, we might as well carry on to the very end. I wonder... Does the contract between Zhongli and the Tsaritsa have anything to do with Guizhong? I wonder... The thing is, we've heard virtually nothing about her.
Well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rumors hit the nail on the head.
So Rex Lapis is really... But they didn't catch the culprit, did they?
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think. I don't think any of the gossip on the streets you hear from those shady types is worth anything. There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank. I think they called him Child.
The Fatui? They certainly are very suspicious. Who knows what those greedy, crooked folks...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't be around to protect you this time.
Well, well. It seems Tartaglia will not be welcome in Liyue ever again.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god might have been one and the same?
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes, it's very possible indeed. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Oh, that wicked, black-hearted scoundrel. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things? I have never heard of such a person in all my years.
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what the Ministry of Civil Affairs has to say first.
Hear ye all! The Qixing's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So too must they face divinely appointed trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was murdered. Now, let the truth be revealed. Having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not and to let not their hearts be saddened. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said.
They now claim that Rex Lapis died because of a divine trial. That he, in essence, was not assassinated.
So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this excuse sounds like something they just made up on the spot. Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? But Zhongli said that neither they nor the Adepti knew anything. Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed hands?
It is a distinct possibility.
Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now. Let's go have a look. Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa!
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
My. How small a gift that is.
Roping you in was possibly the most masterful move we could have made. I believe that future generations will say so too when our deeds come up for their review.
Why, you... Were you just trying to look cool earlier, or are you really that selfless? If you were looking for someone, you could have just told me that in private.
In fairness, well, Aether has no higher priority than finding Lumine. She is the only person in this world who knows him from before this world, after all.
The cleanup of the premises, managing the crowds as they exit, making an account of the rite. There's much that remains to be done. I didn't miss anything, did I?
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Liyue kiosk.
That's the first thing you suggest? And would you have any mora for this meal?
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Liyue kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do lack the mora.
But why would Morax lack mora? Were you not the one who invented it?
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon, so I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to.
You could literally create whatever funding you ever needed.
But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you.
It was a fine journey while it lasted.
That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed.
Closed? What do you mean, closed? Who rules in Inazuma?
Yes, the nation has been closed by order of its deity, the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the Shogun of Inazuma, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
The Shogun, eh?
That said, Though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of the statue of the omnipresent god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto the heavenly principles.
Heavenly principles, you say?
All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
What of this trial that the Qixing have invented to explain away Rex Lapis's departure?
Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. How they came up with that excuse, I will never know. That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in secret that Rex Lapis was not dead. I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard of this particularly convenient Adepti art known as gifting dreams and visions? All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
What of child Tartaglia?
Yeah, about that. Before the Qixing made their announcement, we listened to a lot of people talking on the way. Most of them put the blame for everything on Child.
These are indeed false accusations. But it remains undeniably true that Child did send people to the Jade Chamber to prevent the Adepti and the Qixing from defeating the ancient god. I've heard that Ningguang is busy milking that for all it's worth on the foreign relations front at the moment, browbeating the envoys of the Fatui. Ha! Those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not for Child's exalted position as a harbinger, I'm certain that they would have shifted all the blame to him and called for his dismissal by now. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
What is your view on the Qixing?
The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue? Kuching is absolutely right in saying this. Now, though I did laud Ningguang's desire for power, believing this to be a good thing, and thought as a matter of course that she must have been behind the Qixing's plan to take governing power over Liyue from the hands of the gods and Adepti. Could the original person who brought up the idea of seizing power have been... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Speculation, speculation. Well, the only thing left would be to question Mora. It was your power, your gnosis, that created Mora to begin with. So how will they make more?
That's right! Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, what's going to happen to all the Mora in Teyvat? Since Morax is dead, are they all just gonna disappear? Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even continue to work?
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires the use of the Geo-Archon's power.
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora! The world is coming to an end!
Yes, this is indeed a major issue from a financial standpoint. Well, I suppose we'll just leave such troublesome matters to the Liyue Qixing to debate.
Then, did you at least set some private funds aside for yourself?
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a good, logical, common-sense idea. It's a shame.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Why am I not surprised? No, there's nothing else to discuss, I suppose.
Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation. Have patience. I suspect that some serendipity must first come into play.
I see. Well. We hit AR 30. And we finished the Liyue Archon quest. Quite the undertaking in itself, and next, we cross the sea and go to Inazuma. But that is a journey for another day. As always, if you have enjoyed this, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And do check out my Elden Ring Let's Play. And of course, have a good day.